broke, came up with a plan, now I'm the man, there ain't no stopping me. I ran up all these bands, I ran and made like 5 bands a day. I was broke, came up with a plan, now I'm the man, there ain't no stopping me. It ain't no stopping me. Got bands, I'ma run it up, it ain't no stopping me. I was broke, came up with a plan, now I'm the man, it ain't no stopping me.
Boom! Here we go. Here we go. We're here. We are here. What's going on, guys? So you already know what we're talking about tonight. The internet is in a fury. In case you've been living under a rock, you might not have heard. This guy, Fat Joe, has kicked the hornet's nest. This guy, Fat Joe, has awakened a sleeping giant. If you're not familiar, Fat Joe is a rapper from New York. He is a Hispanic rapper repping Puerto Rico who always has something grimy, something negative to say about foundational Black Americans. Now, don't get caught up on this term, foundational Black Americans. Make no mistake about it. Foundational Black Americans, whether you accept the term or not, is only a term used to identify a specific lineage of people. Some people call them foundational Black Americans. Some people call them American descendants of slaves. There are many different terms. Some people call them freedmen, the descendants of freedmen. There are a lot of different terms that you can use other than African American, which has been so bastardized. The term African American is so broad. There are jokes comedians make all the time about Elon Musk being the richest African American, because Elon Musk is from South Africa. Elon Musk is from Africa and he lives in America. Technically, Elon Musk is an African American. So foundational Black Americans, by any other name, all we're doing is trying to specify a lineage of people. We're trying to be very specific about a lineage and a group of people who descended for generations here on American soil, descended from American slaves. That's what we're referring to when we use the term foundational Black American. Now, whether a foundational Black American chooses to identify by that term or use it to refer to him or herself, ultimately, whether they call themselves a descendants of slaves, whether they call themselves an African American, if you go back to slavery here on this land, you can call yourself an African American, but ultimately you are still a foundational Black American. We're talking about the same lineage. We're talking about a lineage, okay? Not a political ideology of all Africans, global Africans coming to America. No, we're talking about a specific lineage of people when we use the term foundational Black American. And Fat Joe, while he has chosen to bathe himself and wrap himself in the foundational Black American culture of hip hop, a genre that foundational Black Americans created, he chose to insert himself into our culture, into our creation, and at the same time, diss us as a whole group of people. Let me play you a clip so you understand exactly what I'm referring to. Let's play this.
These rumors were made by radical Black racists. Let's just say that. Okay? It's a group of these guys that don't want to hear Jamaican, don't want to hear Guyanese, they don't want to hear Black.
First of all, a couple things, and I'm going to pause it here. First of all, foundational Black Americans are not radical. It's just a lineage of people. It's just a whole group of people. So you can say somebody who's not even online is a foundational Black American. Are they radical? They're not necessarily racist. It's just like that term, Black Lives Matter. You know how they like to call all Black people Black Lives Matter, even though we're not Black Lives Matter? You're talking about a specific lineage of people when you use the term foundational Black American. It's not the same as Black Lives Matter, which is an organization. So when Fat Joe is dissing foundational Black Americans, he's talking about a whole lineage. He's not talking about a group. He's not talking about an organization. He's talking about a whole race, a whole ethnicity of people.
Black guy that ain't down with them.
Right.
Right? So their job is to criticize anybody who don't look like them or who ain't Black American.
Who are these guys?
Let me pause that too. He says we're here to criticize everyone who's not Black American. That's a lie. That is a bold-faced lie. First of all, foundational Black Americans show a lot of respect to who? Minister Farrakhan, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Minister Farrakhan is from the islands. Minister Farrakhan is not a foundational Black Americans, but we have the utmost respect for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the leader of the Nation of Islam. Nation of Islam was started here in America by foundational Black Americans under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That leadership was continued by a non-FBA member, non-FBA person by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And foundational Black Americans have no problem with that because he's a rider. He's standing on truth and justice. He's not trying to undermine us. He's not trying to undermine a whole group of people, a whole race of people, a whole lineage of people like Fat Joe is doing.
You want me to say it name? We're going to give him too much clout.
I mean,
the FBA, Foundational Black Authority, whoever the fuck these broke niggas is.
And you hear Math Hoffa and them joking and laughing about the stuff in the background. See, the reason they're talking about FBA is because they're feeling our presence. They're feeling people spending their time, taking time out of their day, making lives like I'm making, talking about how we're delineating, talking about how we need to be more politically aware, talking about how we need to coalesce as a group and as a specific lineage and make sure that we have the tangible resources that we need to get instead of bending over backwards to appease all of these other groups who really have hatred, envy, and vitriol for us. Us foundational Black Americans and our voices and our consistency is being felt. And that's the whole reason he has to acknowledge us. That's the whole reason he has to acknowledge us. But see, he's going to dish you, these broke niggas. See, okay, so you're talking about a whole race of people when you say these foundational Black Americans are just broke niggas. So any Black American who has an issue with Puerto Ricans coming here and disrespecting us, any Black American who has an issue with people from other countries saying that they created hip hop 50-50. Any Black American who has an issue with you saying we want specific tangibles for our lineage and we are a specific and unique group. Any Black American who thinks that they have a specific and unique history here in America, they're all broke niggas. Foundational Black Authority, whatever, broke niggas, according to Fat Joe. You let Fat Joe tell it.
Authority, whoever the fuck these broke niggas is.
And Math Hoffa, you hear Math Hoffa and them laughing in the background. Mind you, they're coming from the islands too. So they come with this camaraderie because when Fat Joe disses foundational Black Americans, Math Hoffa doesn't feel no type of way because he doesn't qualify. He's not a foundational Black American. So he's like, oh yeah, we're making fun of them. We're in New York, but we're making fun of them foundational Black Americans. Those Black Americans who descended from slavery here in America. We can laugh at them because I'm not me, Math Hoffa. That's not me. You're not talking about me. But see, all the foundational Black Americans, the 43 million of us that he's referring to, all the Black Americans who descended from American slaves, we are all taking shots. We are all taking strays when he starts dissing the whole lineage. See, he thinks he's dissing an online group, but foundational Black Americans are not a group. Nobody's getting marching orders from Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed not paying me to be here. I'm over here talking to you in real time with my real face, telling you what I think about the situation. Tariq Nasheed is not paying me. When I leave the house and I go talk to my son, I'm telling my son, you are a foundational Black American who descends from a great lineage of people, a specific and unique group. You are lucky and blessed to be here because of all the things your lineage had to survive in order to make you a possibility today. These are the lessons I'm teaching to my son. And you're going to diss all of us Black Americans who are proud, of the things that we survived, the things that we overcame, the things that we created, the things that we have contributed. You're talking about a whole race and lineage of people while you think you just dissing some folks online. You think you just dissing some foundational black Americans. I never see them in real life. Just because you haven't noticed or you haven't had these conversations with us, that doesn't mean we don't exist. Because when I put this thing down, I'm still here. You can catch me in DC anytime walking around. You can catch me up 16th Street, Georgia Ave. You can catch me. Hey, I be outside. So when they act like this is just some folks online talking, I keep this same ideology. I keep this same mentality when I'm walking around the streets of the DMV. Facts.
I'm just keeping it a buck. And that shit is to attack everybody on Twitter. You see this nigga who run them? Like, you know, your leader? Yo, man.
The folks who run them, your leader, I don't have no leader. That's the thing. It's not a group. See, when they talk about like Black Lives Matter, that's a group. You can talk about, oh, you see their leader. They have 3 lesbian women as the leader of Black Lives Matter. That's a group. When you talk about even the group, the organization, American Descendants of Slaves, that is a group. That is a self-proclaimed group of people that have an organization and leadership structure. Foundational Black Americans is just a lineage of people. We have different thoughts. There are foundational Black Americans who are Pan-Africanists. There are foundational Black Americans that are Muslim. There are foundational Black Americans that are Hebrew Israelites. There are foundational Black Americans that are Christian. This is not an organization. This is just a whole lineage of people. And I think that's where he's getting messed up at when he tries to diss FBA and he's not expecting the backlash because he doesn't even know. He doesn't even understand. He's dissing a whole group of people openly with his full chest, as if we can't hear you, as if I don't know. You talking about me, my parents, my mom. You talking about my cousins. You talking about everyone from this lineage. You're not just dissing some folks online.
You gotta be fucking kidding me, man. And so they trying to change the narrative. They're not from New York.
Right.
So they telling a whole nother story. This was whoopity doop wop. This, that, yo, bro. These rooms.
All right, and listen, let me say this. Fat Joe was already feeling the backlash, not only of this conversation when he dropped that, because Math Hoffa, the owner of the podcast on which he was speaking, had to remove that video from YouTube. They were getting so much backlash. They were going like mega viral. Everyone was like, report, like, yo, you need to take this down. Like, we were on his bumper for that. And you on there laughing? You think it's a joke? Dude, dissing our whole lineage, and you think that's a joke? People was on Math Hoffa's head. People was on Fat Joe's head. He had to go ahead and take that whole video down, which further shows that it's not just a bunch of broke niggas talking. It's about a bunch of unified people standing on a common message, a common theme, a common ideology, and a common perspective. This is not just going away. Whether Tariq Nasheed, God forbid, the worst should occur tomorrow to do, the lineage survives. The lineage, foundational Black Americans, whether Tariq Nasheed, and I wish him nothing but long life and prosperity, but whether he's here today, gone tomorrow, whatever have you, God forbid, our lineage is not going anywhere, and he's going to continue to feel this. He's going to continue to feel folks responding to that shit because we don't take kindly. We don't take kindly to y'all coming to our country disrespecting us. Because I would never go to your country. I'm not going to go to Puerto Rico and diss the Puerto Ricans in Puerto Rico. I've been to Africa multiple times. I've been to South Africa. I'm not going to go to Johannesburg and talk about, oh, why you people here in South Africa living bummy. I would never do that. I would never do that. I went to Mozambique. That's one of the poorest countries in the world, in East Africa. I've seen how they live. I'm not going to go there and be like, oh, y'all need to get it together. Y'all are just lazy living. I'm not going to do that. You broke niggas living over there. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go to your country, partake in a genre of music that you created, and then diss you and your whole lineage while I do it. Do you understand the audacity that takes? That's some the cojones, as he would say. That it takes some balls to come to someone else's country and this entire lineage of people that built and paved the way for you to get there in the first place. Because mind you, in segregation, you think it was just black and white. It was no colors. Puerto Rican, no Mexicans. They're not letting you in there either, partner. But see, you wait for us to get all the work done, then you're going to come over talking about, oh, well, you just going to eat the fruit. You're going to eat the fruit and take it and diss the people who made it possible for you. But that's okay. You're going to learn. Because guess what? The same thing happened to Busta Rhymes. Remember when Busta Rhymes was dissing black Americans, talking about us, we don't got no culture. Busta Rhymes was out there talking about, foundational black Americans, they ain't nothing, they don't got no culture. And really, Jamaicans created hip hop and black Americans just followed us. What? So people, the foundational black Americans, the 43 million of us, we wasn't feeling Busta Rhymes either. And then y'all remember this happened earlier this year, how they did him when he was out there. He had to curse out the audience because niggas wasn't trying to pay him no mind. We don't want to hear what you got to say after you diss us. Y'all remember this?
Hey, yo, fuck them camera phones too. Let's get back to interacting like humans. Put them weird-ass devices down. I ain't from that era. Them shits don't control the soul. Fuck your phone. Excuse me, gentlemen. Thank you very much. I will point every last one of y'all out until y'all asses is up.
Oh man, mad. They like, okay, we ain't trying to hear that.
Doing this shit, I ain't used to niggas sitting down at my show. I don't give a fuck. All age groups, get your ass up now. I see you, beautiful queen. Get up too. Fuck going on?
They sitting down. They don't want to hear this
nigga.
nigga.
Get your big head asses up.
They don't want to hear this guy.
Look, the reason why there will be zero tolerance for bullshit energy in here is because this is my first time in New Orleans at the fucking 30-year.
Yeah, you in New Orleans. You in the heart of the South. You in the heart of the South. They ain't trying to hear that you talking. They ain't trying to hear that mess you talking. They did Busta Rhymes so bad. Listen, they did Busta Rhymes so bad. Next thing you know, bro had to pop up in the dress to try to redeem himself. You think I'm lying? Tell me bro didn't pop up in the dress to try to win the crowd back and get some clout when he saw foundational black Americans turning on him. Is that Busta Bus? Hold on, not with the sachet. Is that Busta Bus with a full dress on doing the sachet? Uh-oh, I don't want to get a strike. I don't want to get a copyright strike. But hold on. I'm going to put it on mute, but just check the visuals of Busta Bus. They did him, the foundational black Americans, those broke niggas that Fat Joe was talking about. We had this dude Busta Bus in a full dress trying to get some clout after we stopped paying him attention. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Look at the visuals. You don't even need the music. What is this guy doing? Huh? So Fat Joe, okay. Fat Joe thinks it's sweet. Fat Joe thinks it's sweet. He could just diss a whole lineage of people. He's going to find out just like Busta Bus did. He's going to find out just like Busta Bus did. We're not going to support. We are in the full-fledged delineation movement right now. You're not only seeing it in the society as far as the music genre and social structures between the beefs and fights going on between Fat Joe, Busta Rhymes, and foundational black Americans. You can see it in politics. You can see we just made Kamala Harris crash and burn this election. Donald Trump was out here talking about, oh, I didn't know Kamala Harris was black. They thought black Americans were going to come out and defend Kamala Harris. Black Americans weren't defending Kamala Harris like that. No. You saw record numbers of black American, especially men, peel away from the Democrats this election. And it's not necessarily going to get better in the future. They're trying to act like, oh, this was a one-off. This was just 2024. No, that's the thing. See, Kamala Harris was spending billions of dollars trying to buy black support. She was spending millions of dollars to get high-profile support, like folks like Oprah Winfrey, folks like Eminem, folks like Beyonce to come out, Taylor Swift to come out and support her. She tried to pay people like Roland Martin to try to influence the grassroots. But the thing is, we are in the middle of a delineation movement. Roland Martin has been identified as a non-FBA tether who is undermining our foundational black American best interest. So the Roland Martins of the world, they are neutralized. Folks aren't listening. We're not giving them crowd. We're not listening to them right now. We're not. Not only that, but there's people out here, folks like myself and others on the grassroots, folks like Tariq Nasheed and others on the grassroots, folks like the Black Authority and others on the grassroots who are doing this because this is actually what we believe in. We're not waiting for 4 years for Kamala Harris to come around and drop a check on us like Al Sharpton or Roland Martin are. You don't have to come and try to buy our support. If we're standing on this foundational Black American lineage business, we're doing this off the love of our lineage. You got to understand, I'm the fifth. I try not to dox myself, but I'm last name Fry. That's where the Fry Time Media comes from. Fry the fifth. I'm the fifth. My son is the sixth. Some people are juniors and thirds. We're fifths and sixth generations in this. The senior, my great granddad, senior, he was born in 1902, Galveston, Texas. So we're in this, I'm in this for the lineage. I'm not in this because I'm waiting for Kamala Harris to come around and give me a check. I'm not trying to get big like Roland Martin so I can just shill for the Democrats and just say what's convenient. I'm saying what I believe is in the best interest of me, my son, my sisters, my mother, my father, my lineage, the foundational Black American lineage. That's who we're doing this out of a passion and love for our people. We're not doing this because we're trying to get a quick check. And that's why this heat is not going to stop, because people are doing it from the heart. From the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. You're going to have a lot of foundational Black Americans who are passionate. We're riders because we're doing what's best for our people. We're not just here looking for a quick check. Like Roland Martin probably doesn't believe half the stuff he's actually saying. He's out there shilling for Kamala Harris and for the Democrats, but he probably knows that the Democrats aren't really doing anything in the best interest of Black Americans. He probably knows that supporting these tether groups is undermining us. Not only that, we're not getting any tangibles from this party, right? We're actually being undermined. Our vote is being diluted. Votes are being given away to immigrants who are not even citizens. I live in DC. In DC, they just passed a law, the Democrats did, that if you've lived here for 31 days, not even months, 31 days. If you are a resident of DC for 31 days, you have the right to vote. You come here, you don't have an ID, you don't have you're not a citizen, you just been here a month. You think you really know about our politics? You think you know about our situation here in the city, here in the country? You've been here a month and your vote is equal to mine. We're being undermined. So when we are out here pushing for specific lineage-based reparations and tangibles, you get here a month ago and you're saying, no, I don't believe that the Black Americans, they don't deserve anything. Now, I've been here for generations understanding the politics of not only the city, who my dad's from DC, my granddad's from. I've been here for generations, and you're telling me this person who's been here for a month is equal to me and has the best interest of this country in mind? It's wild that we would support something like that. And we're not. We are no longer supporting things like that. We're doing what's in our best interest from this point forward. Especially because we see folks who we support. Like, we actually, coming up in New York, a lot of Black people was supporting Fat Joe. You see Fat Joe over there making music with Remy Ma, Lean Back. Remember Remy Ma? Hey, I'm seeing a pattern now. We supported Fat Joe even when he had Ashanti. He had rocking with Ashanti, rocking with Ja Rule. Fat Joe went and dissed all the Black girls in that Versus challenge, and he thought we wasn't going to notice. This is a pattern. We're seeing a pattern of the disrespect coming from Fat Joe. Fat Joe disrespected us in the Versus challenge when he disrespected all those Black women, calling them some nappy-headed hoes. He disrespected Black Americans, saying that Latinos created hip-hop 50-50. What? He has a history of this. And check out what his own mans is talking about. His history of rocking with Fat Joe. Listen to what he had to say. This is his own people.
Racist, or was it just that like he was really proud and trying to put on the other side of it because there wasn't really any prominent, you know what I mean, that within the culture?
Well, I ain't going to downplay. I'm going to tell you straight up. He was on some like, the Moyo's been doing this for years. It's time for us to come in. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically how it was stated. And that's how I heard it. And I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, I
Hmm?
get it. It's pro. It's pro. It's pro. But at the same time, it was a little bit.
The Moyos, he's talking about the black people. The black people who created hip hop, they've been doing it a long time. So it's time for us Latinos to come in. This is a hostile takeover. He's talking about 50-50.
Of the shade there, you know, a little bit.
But he got put on by black artists, though.
It's what I was thinking the whole time I'm hearing that. But I'm saying to myself, who am I? I'm just here just listening. I'm just taking in what he's saying. I'm taking in because I'm in a room full of black Latin brothers that are all in the music industry.
Mm.
You got to understand that too. I'm the only person there personally at the time that wasn't, that looked like I was. So I got in where I fit in, but here we go. That's the rhetoric that was pumped.
I'm going to let him finish, but I want to make a point about that. He says he was the only black guy who was in a room full of Hispanics, and he was hearing these folks talk about this, and he was just eating that. He was just accepting that. Let me say this, because I've been in similar situations. This foundational Black American movement is relatively new. It started really around, I want to say 2018, to be honest, a couple years before COVID. I think Barack Obama was really the catalyst for the foundational Black American movement. When Barack Obama was in office, he didn't do anything for foundational Black Americans. And that's when Black Americans first realized, like, hold on, this guy is half white, half Kenyan. He's not really one of us. And he hasn't done anything for us. He's done more stuff for like the hedonist cults than he has done for us Black Americans. So Barack Obama was the first time Black Americans really realized our unique lineage and our unique history. Barack Obama was the catalyst for the foundational Black American movement. So when this brother is saying, yeah, I was in the room and I was just posted up and I was letting the Latino guys talk, prior to the foundational Black American movement, there were a lot of black folks who just had to eat, had to just listen to the disrespect, and we never said nothing. And I say we because I myself have experienced this. Growing up in DC, I'm from Atlanta, I grew up in DC. Growing up in DC, a lot of people thought that I was Ethiopian because of I got this muddy water skin, this beautiful complexion, and shout out to the Ethiopians, they're beautiful people. But a lot of people thought that I was Ethiopian. And I had a lot of Ethiopians. I had a lot of Jamaicans who thought I was Ethiopian, and other Caribbean islanders talk about, well, oh, you cool, you Ethiopian, but we don't really like those Black Americans. I've heard people talk like this thinking that I was from a different group, thinking that I was Ethiopian, thinking that I was Jamaican, thinking I was one of them. They actually dissed me like, oh, at least you're not one of those Black Americans. You know how they act. I've heard black people from other countries, from Africa, from the Caribbean, say stuff like that to me, not knowing that I was a foundational Black American, because that foundational Black American movement is so new. It's so new. Before that, we would just, okay, just laugh it off. Yeah, that's what they think. But we would just eat that. Because before the foundational Black American movement, we were all Pan-Africanists. Real talk. Foundational Black Americans, like when we're growing up as kids, our parents never said, like, stay away from those Africans or stay away from those Caribbeans. Before the foundational Black American movement, which is relatively new, all Black Americans, the vast majority of Black Americans, were Pan-Africanists. Hey, we're all Black. We're all Black. We had an all common struggle, all Black Pan-Africanist mentality. And so relatively new. And a lot of us have this experience where we've been disrespected by folks from immigrant backgrounds, and we haven't said nothing because at that time we didn't have the specific pride, because we were all, hey, we're all Black. So we didn't, okay, y'all making fun of Black Americans, okay, we just going to take that because we weren't standing on our specific lineage. This is a relatively new thing, and it's catching fire. It's only going to grow, because the thing about knowledge, the thing about consciousness is it only goes in one direction. Once an idea has sparked, you cannot put it back. You can't put it back. You can't forget something that you've learned, something that you know. Once a truth has been said, you cannot bring the words back. The words are out there. The knowledge is out there. There is no going back. This consciousness about the foundational Black Americans as a specific and unique lineage, that ideology, that mentality, that will only grow. There is no going back. I want to let him continue.
because he felt comfortable. He was in his own world at the time too. Like, you know, you're in a closed environment. You got your people that look up to you, and you got
So
some
you
people.
can say what you really feel.
Exactly.
That's the halftime speech, basically.
Yeah. I didn't
Okay.
take it. But like I said, I heard him and Macho say stories.
Macho, he's talking about Terror Squad. Terror Squad was the group that Fat Joe was a part of back in the 90s.
Where now is demeaning and being real racist to black people. Him and
Wait,
Macho.
what you mean?
The two white guys at the crew is him and Macho.
Okay,
and then you got Raul.
I know, but what is the story,
Macho,
though?
Macho was a fucking, you know, he hung out with the Jewish guys. So he was really demeaning when it came to black people. And Joe would join that conversation, you know.
Well, what is the story, though? Can you share the story?
I'm not telling you the story. I'll let them tell the story. I mean, they're never going to say it. But it was real demeaning, racial shit. But that's within, you know what I'm saying, the camp of the Spanish guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I think everybody does it. Black people do it. White people do it when they're amongst their own. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I don't want to even say they are, they aren't. But I know my beliefs. I know Punch believe. I know like Saces believe. When we came in, it's full of clips. I know the sick ones believe. We came in as we all is together. Now, if it was a minority of them niggas being racist in the back of their mind and saying racist shit, yes, Joe and Macho of the Terror Squad used to say a lot of shit that was racist. You know?
Joe and Macho used to say, of the Terror Squad, used to say a lot of stuff that was racist. That's their own folks. Scott, that's their own folks. Airing out his past. See, this is not a new thing. Fat Joe has a history. Repeated, he has a track record. There's a pattern here of him disrespecting our lineage. And the folks closest to him confirm that that's what he's on. And let me make this clear, because at the end of that last clip, he was saying, you know, everyone does it. The black folks do it when they're alone. And truth be told, we don't really do that, especially when prior to this foundation, like even the foundational black Americans don't be spending a lot of time talking about other groups. We respond to other groups when they come disrespecting us. But when we're just around ourselves, we're trying to do constructive things like talk about how to build for reparations. We're thinking about how to coalesce and specify our group, but we're not dissing other groups. We're not saying, oh, those other groups are this and that, unless we're responding to the hate that we're receiving from them. But we've got enough of our own problems. We're not trying to be out here worried about, you know, talking and getting behind closed doors and talking about how, you know, we need to infiltrate these other groups' music genres. And no, we're just not doing that. Oh, these Morenos, they've been on this for a long time. It's time for the Latinos to come take over. Black Americans never say anything like that. We've never said, oh, these Latinos have been doing all the construction. It's time for us to take over. Like, no, that's not even in us to do. We're so focused on what we have going on, trying to build what we need, get the tangibles that we need. We're not worried about these other groups until they bring the hate to us, and then we respond. And they're just not feeling the response. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, by the way. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. I got another clip I want to play y'all. Because this is something that is a common theme that I'm seeing. And one thing about the internet that I like is when these people say what they believe, it's out there. And there's no taking it back. You got to stand on that. Once you put it out there, you better stand on that. And we see a lot of these Latinos talking greasy about foundational black Americans. And now the foundational black Americans are like, you know what? We're in the middle of a delineation movement anyway. We're not taking disrespect from anyone. If y'all want to take shots, we're here for it. Now, check this out. This is Lefty Gunplay. Mind you, Kendrick Lamar helped out Lefty Gunplay. He's put Lefty Gunplay on a couple of his albums at this point. I think Lefty Gunplay was on that GNX, Kendrick's newest album, the GNX album, which is a pretty good album actually. It's like one of the best albums of the year. GNX is one of the best albums of 2024. And he put Lefty Gunplay on this. And this is what Lefty Gunplay has a history of saying about foundational black Americans. Check this out.
I'm not gonna let my daughter come home with a black dude. I'm gonna be like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And that's just the way it is out here for my people. And like, I'm sure if a black girl came home and with a straight SA dude, they're gonna be like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? In LA, it's like that. You know what I'm saying? For me to go and have a baby with a black girl, and and I've never been with a black girl, but I've flirted with black girls, and shout out to the black, there's some beautiful black girls, but it's different. And just LA makes you like that, and you can't sugarcoat. I'm not gonna
See, we in the form of Kendrick. See, Kendrick is a black Hebrew Israelite. Black Hebrew Israelites, we know about the 12 tribes. So Kendrick is trying to show love to our Hispanic cousins, our Hispanic brothers, really. Kendrick's trying to show love to our Hispanic brothers. And look at how they do us in response. In response, in exchange for the love that we show folks like Lefty Gunplay, these Hispanics trying to break into our music genre, we show them love, and meanwhile, they have secret backdoor feelings about us. Oh yeah, I would never let my daughter date a black man. See, but black people, we don't even think like that. We don't even think, oh, if she brought home a Hispanic dude, I'm never going to let you. We don't even think like that. Do I want my kids to have black spouses? I have a son. I don't have a daughter, but I would want my son to bring home a black daughter. But if he didn't, life goes on. I'm not spending my time thinking about dissing all Hispanics or white or anybody. I'm not thinking about that. See, but that's how they think about us, and they assume that we have those same thoughts toward them, which we don't. It's one-sided until now. And now we're waking up. Now we're starting to respond. And this is the same guy who's famous for talking about, I don't say, and this is one thing about it. Even, I don't want to say racist, but even a broken clock is right twice a day. So the same person who said, I don't want my daughter to date a black guy said this.
So I'm not gonna say that. It's cool to talk like that. I guess it rhymes with certain shit. Instead of saying young whatever, I'm gonna say young essay with a cuete. I don't have to say the N-word. Shout out to the blacks, man, but I don't talk like that. And I hope they respect that, because I don't hear the blacks saying vato, essay on everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because if they did, I'll be like, what the fuck? I'm not.
See, so he says, hey, I don't say the N-word because I'm not a black guy. Hey, I don't hear the black guys saying vato. I don't hear the black guys say. We don't say that. We're not out here talking about vato and pero, and we don't try to take on y'all vernacular. We're not calling y'all vato and essay and all of that. Hey, what's up, my essay? I've never said that in my life. The stuff that they talking about goes one-sided. We don't be going into their spaces disrespecting them. They come into our spaces calling us niggas. Talking about Fat Joe calling us niggas, talking about he'll shoot and kill niggas, and then calling all us broke. Right? And he's making money off of us listening to that crap. He put out an album. I started to listen to it before he went viral for saying that BS on Math Alpha. I saw it and I was like, I don't want to hear that trash. I don't even want to give him the ratings. We're not out here calling them vatos and essays. They coming into our areas calling us niggas. It's one-sided. But listen, that foundational, hold on. That foundational black American, I'm going to end with this. We're closing up here. But that foundational black American energy is catching on. The flames of enlightenment are spreading. The flames of enlightenment are spreading. It's a political reality at this point. Folks are feeling the fury of this delineation movement. Fat Joe can't say enough. He's going viral and make people making him take his videos down for disrespecting our lineage. We see folks like Kamala Harris losing presidential elections because black Americans not supporting the Democrats. We're abandoning the Democrats. And we see folks on the right wing even using our rhetoric and acknowledging, you know what? The right wingers are supposed to be American first. Here's black Americans saying, hey, we are black Americans. We're not an immigrant group, and y'all have been giving all of our resources to these outside groups. And y'all need to stop doing that and start putting America first. Like you say you want to put America first? Good. Well, we're black Americans. Put us first. Stop that. And that's the thing that they're afraid of. See, that's the thing that they're afraid of is black people and white people coming together. Now, let me close on this. That's one thing that they are most afraid of is black people, black Americans, and white Americans coming together, agreeing on something, putting our differences aside and agreeing on something. That's one thing that they really don't like. We see that the black Americans, especially black American men, we see them abandoning the Democrats. We see Kamala Harris not only losing a campaign, but losing $1 billion. The Kamala Harris campaign, they spent so much money, they're $20 million in debt now. They spent over a billion with a B. They spent $1 billion with a B and are $20 million in debt now because we totally abandoned them. They're spending money trying to get our attention using folks like Oprah Winfrey, using folks like Taylor Swift, Eminem, Cardi B, Roland Martin. She's spending all this money trying to get our attention, and you're just wasting money. We're not listening to you. They don't want the black Americans and the white Americans agreeing on something. But even now, the white Americans, those conservatives, are saying we want to put America first, and the black Americans are like, good, put foundational black Americans first. Stop giving our resources to these outside groups. Give it to us. Keep it in America. Check this out. I got one more clip I want to play just in furtherance of that point. Check this out.
American citizen. His family's been here 5 or 6 generations, that can go to college, get a degree, and is smart enough. Why should they have to compete against the world on the territory inside the United States? It's not fair. Until Silicon Valley, until these places have, 20% African American and 20% Hispanic, I'd like to put an exit visa on every college graduate, foreign student that graduated from college here in 30 days to leave and go back home and help make their nation great again. And we shouldn't take any foreign students in community colleges. That should be for American citizens, particularly for African Americans and Hispanics. They're never going to get up the economic chain unless we do this. You're not going to get folks into high value added post-industrial jobs based around artificial intelligence or coding or anything like that until we make the engineering schools and computer science schools available to them. And right now we don't. This is the reason. It's not about intelligence. It's about access to opportunity. This is why Silicon Valley has virtually no African Americans and no Hispanics. It's de minimis. They have to compete against the whole world for those jobs. And this is one of the reasons you're seeing the seething anger is that people aren't getting good jobs. And one of the reasons they're not getting good jobs, they have to compete against the whole world here in the United States. It's simply not fair.
Wow. Can you believe that? Now that is Steve Bannon. Openly suspected white supremacist. He's open about his racism. That's Steve Bannon. And he sounds like he's taking words straight out of the Foundation of Black American voice. Our playbook. We're saying, hey, you're making us compete against these outside groups. You're subsidizing these outside groups when you should be subsidizing us who have been here for 5-6 generations. We built this country. We've only had true parity as far as freedom for what, 60 years? We're 60 years free. And you're subsidizing outside groups. You haven't given us any type of reparative justice. You haven't repaired any of the harm you've done to our specific lineage. And you're subsidizing these outside groups to come in and compete against us. And this is a suspected white supremacist, Steve Bannon, who's saying that we should give this opportunity to the black Americans specifically. Saying, quote, it's not about intelligence, it's about the opportunities that we are granting these groups. Now, when he starts putting out messages like that, that's one thing that, so foundational black Americans are hearing this, and you're saying that you conservatives are talking about putting black Americans first? Meanwhile, the Democrats are openly saying, hey, we need to open our borders and prioritize giving citizenship to 10 million people who have trespassed in this country. There is a split here. There is a rift here. there is a political realignment happening. You've got America First. You got folks on the America First line, and you've got the globalists, basically nationalists versus globalists. Globalists are saying, hey, let's open the borders. Let's give pathways to citizenship. Let's all just welcome in anyone who wants to come in, and let's just see how it turns out. And you got other folks saying, hey, let's return to family first values. Let's prioritize American family. Folks who have been here for generations. We'll see who wins that battle. But hey, if you made it this far in the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. If you made it this far in the video and you haven't done so already, be sure to smash the subscribe button for more content just like this. Dropping videos on a wide range of topics. I got a Bible in the News series I'm putting out. I'm going to be breaking down the Billy Carson situation. Billy Carson was recently in a debate with this Hess guy about, well, that's going to be the next Bitten episode. So y'all subscribe. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and check out the Bible in the News series. That's something that y'all might find interesting, where I break down situations that are happening in current events in real time today, which have biblical implications. So that's a pretty interesting series I think y'all might like. So subscribe on your way out, hit the thumbs up button to boost us in the algorithms and support the channel because it's free. Guys, I got some more, some products that I'm working on. So I got a book coming out. I've got a product I'm putting out on Amazon. So 2025, I'm gonna have a lot of things coming for y'all. So be on the lookout. We got big things popping coming up. So be on the lookout, subscribe, and come on back for more. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
These bands up in hand and made like 5 bands a day. I was broke, came up with a plan, now I'm the man, there ain't no stopping me. I ran up all these bands up in hand and made like 5 bands a day. I was broke, came up with a plan, now I'm the man, there ain't no stopping me. It ain't no stopping me. I better